I'm Chef Gabe, and this is Under the Hood. Welcome everybody to KFWE. I'm Chef Gabe here at Terra, and we're going to be cooking steak with a mushroom-filled crepe. Now here we go. Hopefully you guys at home got all your mise en place ready to go, because we're going to get started and we're going to go quick.
Let's do it.
Okay guys, let's start with the crepe. So we're going to start with 1 cup of buckwheat flour. So buckwheat flour, small bowl, make sure you have a whisk. We're going to crack 2 eggs. 2 eggs. Here we go. We're going to add 1 cup of oat milk. The recipe calls for milk, but of course we're a kosher restaurant, non-dairy, so you can use soy milk, almond milk, whatever is best for you. Just going to add that in there. We're going to add margarine, but of course we're going to melt it a little bit. It's 1 tablespoon of margarine. All right, Ed, you want to cut back over here? 1 teaspoon of salt. Get that margarine melted. So we have our melted margarine here, guys. I'm gonna scrape that in there. And we're just gonna whisk this all together. Make sure everything's nice and incorporated. So, right away when I made this recipe, I thought this recipe was a little thick. So right away, we're going to add a little bit of water to this. We're going to add a little bit of water to thin this out. So you can see it come together, guys. And it's got some thickness and some body. So with any crepe batter, you want to make sure you let it rest. So we're going to rest this in the fridge for 10 minutes. And then we're going to come back and we're going to start making some crepes. Okay, we're going to put this. All right, Ed, I'm going to transfer it in a quart container. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, guys, so we have our crepe batter. We're gonna go let it rest in the fridge for about 10 minutes. Behind, guys. All right, we're cut to there, right? Yep. Cool. Okay, guys, now that the crepe batter's resting, it's not quite done yet, all right? So we're gonna shave some time here and we're gonna start on our mushroom duxelles. So we're gonna get those roasted. Just make sure your oven's ready to go at 375, just so we can do some roasting of the mushrooms, okay? So let's get started. So you're gonna need a bowl, a mixing bowl, real nice. Now these mushrooms are particular, I chose because of the flavor and the smell. These are called hen of the woods. These are amazing, meaty, very earthy. They have almost like, how do you say, a meat taste to them. Now, if you can't source these, portobellos are just as fine, just as great. You can add a little shiitake, it's up to you. Shiitake have more of a pungent flavor, but hen of the woods, if you can, please find them. Now, I'm tearing these apart in these big, I don't know, say like 1/4 inch chunks. And I have probably about almost close to 2 pounds here. Now, this is one of those things, if you're a mushroom lover, go ahead, make extra. Don't cheat yourself, yeah? So these are just gonna get roasted with a little bit of olive oil, right? Salt and pepper. And we're just gonna toss these up, right? Make sure they're nice and coated. And we're gonna roast these, like I said. Here we go, have a sheet pan. And let's go put these in the oven. Corner. So this is a convection oven, so we got a fan going. So it's like around 375 we're gonna set it up to. And we're gonna let those roast for about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay guys, let's check where we're at. So we have crepe batter in the fridge resting for 10 minutes. We have mushrooms roasting for about 8 to 9, 10 minutes as well. So we're gonna start with this filling. Make sure you have a nice hot pan going. So we have a hot pan, medium high heat. Okay, let's start with 3 tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin. You can see the pan's nice and warm and hot. And we're gonna do about half a cup of julienne shallots. So we got that nice sizzle, that's what we want, right? Okay, we're gonna smash some garlic. I say smash because we wanna get all those essential oils out, and then we're gonna start chopping it up. Now we want to make sure that our shallots are not cooking too fast. We don't want to burn them. We want to make sure they're nice and getting nice and supple and translucent. All right, looks like we have our chopped garlic ready. Let's check on our mushrooms. Check out these shallots, nice, right? Rendered down, nice and translucent. Now we're gonna add these mushrooms that we have roasted from the oven. Here we go. You could smell them, nice and meaty. We're gonna add these to the pan. Make sure you get them all nice and crispy, all those little pieces in there. All right. Okay, we're gonna mix this up and we're gonna turn up the heat. So mushrooms are like little sponges, guys. So they're gonna soak up all this oil in this pan, right? So we wanna make sure that we don't burn this garlic. So we're gonna add the garlic after we add the mushrooms. And now we're just gonna toast that garlic. We're not gonna get it too cooked. We still want it to make sure you get some garlic flavor. Nice saute. You can hear that sizzle. All right, our next is our green onions. We're gonna use about 1/4 cup. No fancy cut, just real nice little rounds is fine. Even if you have a food processor, that's good as well. I'm not gonna hate you for it. Whites and all. So we're just creating some layers of aromatics. So we have that nice shallot caramelized and sauteed. We added the mushrooms. Now we added the garlic. Now we're finishing with a little bit of green onion. Now, if I could, I would have sourced ramps. Now, ramps are wild leeks. So I had that in my idea my first time, but they're hard to find right now on the West Coast. All right, guys, the heat is on. We're gonna add about a teaspoon of salt and about a teaspoon of black pepper. Cognac. Now you don't have to use anything fancy. You could use brandy if you'd like. This is something we have in the restaurant. So we're just gonna splash this little mushrooms with a little bit of cognac. Here we go. So I'd say about 1/4 of a cup. And we're gonna ignite it just to burn off the alcohol. So once the flames die out, we're gonna add our beef stock. All right, so about 1/4 cup of beef stock. All this is going to do is get all those flavors together. And we're gonna cook this down to its sec, like almost dry, right? Don't worry, those mushrooms are like little sponges and they're gonna soak up all that flavor in liquid. You can see it right now, it's almost getting tight in there. The liquid's almost going away. What should we call this? Like the kick it up notch ingredient?
Yeah.
What do you want? No, I don't want to use that. I want to use that.
Take it to the next level.
I like that. Now, there's an ingredient that I'm going to put on the ingredient list. Hopefully you guys could have sourced some black truffle. White truffle would be fine. Even a little truffle salt. I would just use it in moderation. We're going to finish this and we're going to take this to the next level with a little fresh black truffle, guys. So all you need is a little microplane. And this is just adding an extra element of aromatic, a little bit of richness, and some elegance. And we're ready to go. So we're gonna let this mushroom duxelle cool off before we put it in the RoboCoupe or your food processor, and we're gonna mash it up. Okay, guys? All right, Ed, what's next?
You tell me what's coming out. We're doing the crepes next.
Okay.
Crepe batter out.
So
With the batter.
you're making the crepes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what we'll do.
Just right there is fine. I'll grab it later. Just have it ready with the. Stay there. So mushroom duxelle is cooling. We just pulled out our crepe batter. We're gonna finish this and we're gonna start making crepes. Okay, so our crepe batter is nice and cold. Now we're gonna add a little bit of water. You're gonna add water to your discretion. We call this chef intuition. So you wanna make sure that this batter, guys, is not too thick. As you can see, when it cooled, it got thick. So we're gonna thin it out just right. So you can see the water incorporating into the batter. So we want it to be a loose pancake batter. We want it to be thick like pancake batter, nice and loose. Because what that's gonna do is gonna help you coat the bottom of that pan. And believe me, this buckwheat flour is gonna make it nice crepe. We're almost there. Let's get this nice and incorporated. Here we go, we have our crepe batter. Look, not too thick, nice and smooth. Water is incorporated. Next step, make sure you have a non-stick pan. Non-stick pan is gonna work best for you. Even better is gonna be a crepe platter. So here you go, non-stick pan. Just checking, make sure it's nice. Look at the heat. I don't have it too high. Nice and low. Non-stick spray. And we're just gonna coat the pan. Don't go crazy with the spray. Nice and hot. And we're gonna use a 1 ounce ladle here. Right? And we're just gonna spin it all the way around. You see that dough start cooking? See the batter start cooking? All the way around, right? So it's not moving anymore. this is gonna take about 1 or 2 minutes. All right, how do we know that this crepe is ready? You can start seeing the edge start cooking, right? And with a little rubber spatula, oh, right? Of course, we're not using AP flour, we're using buckwheat flour, so it's gonna take a little bit longer to cook. Usually with crepes, you just wanna be gentle with them, okay? Especially when you're flipping them. So a little rubber spatula on the corner, and you're gonna grab it gently, and you're gonna flip it, just like you're flipping a tortilla. And we're just gonna spin it, as you can see, with a nonstick pan. Make sure it's nice and cooked on the other side just a little bit. You can even see how it's perfectly spin. That's that little trick you want right there. If it spins right there, you got a good crepe right there, guys. We're gonna lay it over here. Now, if you have 4 or 5 people at home, so you wanna make sure you get at least 2 crepes per person. So the crepes are done. Now, I just don't want to fill the crepe and then it's cold and then like we're searing the steak and then we put it on top of the crepe. No, that's fine. That's fine. So this goes over here. Move this over here. Mushroom duxelle is ready to go. We're just going to stick it in the food processor and give it a little pulse. We want to make sure we break up any of these big pieces and make a nice smooth spread.
If you don't have a food processor, what would you recommend?
Now, if you don't have a food processor, guys, you can cut it by hand. That's fine, hand chop. But please don't put it in a blender. And then we just want to get a nice even chop. Let's check it. Let's slide down some of these pieces from the walls, and you can see you got a nice even duxelle. And I think we're good there. We're going to transfer this to a bowl. Take your blade out first. Now this can go on toast, can go with eggs. Doesn't have to be filled in a crepe. Mushroom duxelle for you mushroom lovers. Possibilities are endless. Right? Yep. Okay, perfect. That's done. Check.
Check.
All right, cool. Because this is gonna reduce really fast.
Good.
All right, go.
All right, ready? And
All right, guys. Crepes are made. Mushroom duxelle is made. We're just putting it off to the side right now. We're gonna do our sauce, and then we're gonna go straight to our steak. All right? Okay. You first want to start with your sauce. You make sure you have a nice saucepan and make sure it's on medium-high heat. I want to make sure you guys feel the heat on the pan, and we're going to start with a little bit of olive oil, okay? I'd say 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, you don't want to burn this, right? We're going to do our 1/4 cup of minced shallot. So I said minced. Make sure it's nice and fine. And you can hear that sizzle, right? That's what we want every time, guys. Now we're not going to cook these as long as the shallots that we did for the mushrooms, because we want to get some cooking going on with these huckleberries. So we're going to add a cup of frozen huckleberries. Mix these in. And let's let these saute real nice. We're gonna add a pinch of salt. We're gonna turn up our heat. So this sauce is a play on a gastrique. Gastrique is an acid with sugar and reduced. You make a reduction out of that, right? So we're using a little bit of sugar. We're gonna put about a 1/4 cup of sugar in here. Now we're gonna add our herb. We're gonna add a bay leaf and some fresh oregano. As you can see, these huckleberries are full of juice. So you can see we're getting this nice consistency going on. Almost time to add our wine. So the sugar is going to reduce and make a syrup. It's going to create body in the sauce, right? You can see the bubbles start occurring. That means the sugar is now incorporated in the sauce. We're going to add some wine. So we're going to add about half a bottle, guys. We're going to turn this on medium heat. We're going to let it reduce till we get that nice consistency. And I'll show you, when it coats the back of a spoon, I mean you're ready to go. And it's just reduction time. Reduce, reduce, reduce. Okay, guys. Check out this sauce. As you can see, and I showed you the bubbles earlier, now you can really see that the sauce just reduced perfect to what we want. So here's how you check it. You get a spoon. And if it stays and it holds and it doesn't run, we're ready to go. So we're gonna pull this sauce off. We're gonna shut it off. And we're gonna put it on hold so when we plate this steak. We're gonna pull out that bay leaf and the oregano leaf. Little stem out. Pull it out. We're gonna set that aside. We're gonna get our pan hot. We're gonna start searing that steak. All right, huckleberry, fin. All right.
All right, ready, sir? All right, speed, and...
Okay, guys, here's the most important moment of this whole dish, all right, guys? So you wanna make sure you have a nice heavy-duty pan, okay? If you have a cast iron, that'd be great. You know, just preheat it a little bit in your oven. Or if you have a nice blue steel pan like this, it should be fine, all right? Now, we wanna make sure it's nice and hot. As you can see, it's smoking, because I wanna create a nice sear. I wanna make sure that we get that Maillard effect going on, all right, guys? So steak, we're gonna season generously. We're gonna make sure we have a nice even coating of salt, nice even coating of pepper, right? Let's flip and repeat. Nice even coating. Salt, pepper. Okay, pan. Now, you guys can use cooking oil, a little bit of olive oil is fine. Not extra virgin because it might burn. The smoke point is a little bit too low. We're gonna be using beef fat to sear. Now this is one of those secret ingredients that hopefully you guys can source, but if you don't use it, it's okay. Like I said, use a nice blended oil of canola or cooking oil, should be fine. So we're gonna do a couple tablespoons of this. That nice beef fat, right? We're gonna sear our steak in there. Here we go. So this is almost pan frying, guys. So we're gonna add a little bit of aromatics. We're gonna add some sage, and we're gonna smash a couple garlic cloves just to get those essential oils out, right? I'm gonna put them over here. And we're just gonna baste our steak. We're gonna pour some of this beautiful oil on top. Get a nice sear. You wanna make sure you have medium-high heat. Now, also, if you want a well steak or a medium well steak, and I hope you don't, you wanna get your oven preheated to about 375, 400 degrees. Make sure you have a baking pan with a little bit of rack, and we'll finish that steak in the oven. We're gonna sear both sides first though. So we're just basting it with that beef fat, yeah? Get a nice sizzle. A little garlic aromatic on top. I'm gonna put the garlic on top so it doesn't look like it's burning. So you can see if you can get in here, you can see this nice little like crust forming. So it's almost telling me that it's ready to flip, guys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna scrape off our aromatics. We're gonna give it a flip. Look at that crust. That's what you want, that nice caramelization, that golden brown all the way around. Put our aromatics on this side. We're gonna baste this side. Make sure you get that fat cap full of some flavor. All those oils from the sage and the rosemary. So I like my steak at a good medium. So I'm not gonna be afraid to put this in the oven, okay? Now, how long we're gonna put in the oven? It's gonna be about 4 minutes exact. So that was a good sear, about 3 minutes on each side, guys. Now we're gonna take this off, we're gonna stick it in the oven. And pour some of this little fat on top. We're going right in the oven. Behind, down the line. Behind, down the line. So we're gonna adjust our temperature to about 375. And what'd I say? 4 minutes. Here we go. All right, guys, we just pulled out our steak, and this is the most important moment right here. You got to let it rest. So we're going to let it rest for about 2 to 3 minutes, okay? While we're resting, what do we have ready? We have our crepes done. We have our mushroom duxelles. We have our sauce ready, and we're going to get ready to start plating this dish, okay? So first, mushroom crepe. Now, you're going to put just enough in the center. You're not going to go too close to the center. You want to go just off-centered. And we're going to be generous, right? You go all the way to the edge, and we're going to roll up, right? Nice stuffed crepe. Here we go. We're going to do one more. I'm going to roll this up. Nice, beautiful mushroom stuffed crepe. Ooh. You want to redo that one, Ed?
That's good.
Good? How's it look over there?
Looks beautiful.
Okay. Cool. All right, so we have our crepes, right? All right, now we're going to pull our steak. I'm just gonna scrape off some of this garlic on top. Look at this beautiful steak, right? We're gonna flip it over. Now, the cap is my favorite piece, but you gotta be generous, okay? You gotta make sure everyone gets a cut. So the way we're gonna slice this steak, we're gonna slice it right down the middle at an angle. You can see that? Perfect medium, like I said, guys, that we're trying to achieve. Now this is a lot of steak, so for your big eaters this is perfect for you guys, but if you're wanting to share, it'd be perfect for 2 people. So you can see this nice perfect medium rare in the center. Here we go. It's perfect enough to serve. We're just gonna go right on top. Right? We're gonna add a little bit of salt. Right on the flesh. Now our huckleberry sauce. Okay, so we're gonna go right in the center. And we're gonna do a little bit of a circle. Hopefully this dish is as good as that wine we're going to be drinking soon. A little bit of parsley. And there you have it, guys. I just want to say thank you and congratulations, and hopefully you guys kept up. And this is our dish that we made together, guys. Some buckwheat mushroom filled crepes with a little bit of seared steak and a huckleberry gastrique that everyone's going to love.